debt of gratitude, and so does the rest of the world has paid attention to and been inspired by what has happened in New York State, and how it just relentless and proud the people in this city and upstate have been about protecting their water, and it's been amazing. Protecting your water, all of our water. So thank you for that. I do want to mention, it's very, very important, one of the key people in that fight in New York State is Dr. Sandra Steingraber, or Sandra Steingraber, however you want to pronounce her name. She is the author of Living Downstream, is that right? And another book. She's an incredible scientist, biologist, doctor, writer, has done lots and lots of research on the chemicals. She's picking up where the great Theo Colborn left off. And I called her up 3 days ago and I said, hey Sandra, you're coming to the premiere, right? And she said, no Josh, I'll probably be in jail. And she's in jail now. She and a group of 12 other heroic people decided that they didn't want a gas storage facility next to Seneca Lake in Ithaca, where they live, and stood in front of a bunch of trucks and said, no, you're not coming in. They were arrested and charged. And just last week, when they said to Sandra, here's your fine, she said, no thanks, I'll serve my time. So she's in jail for 15 days. 15 days is a long time to be in jail. 1 hour is a long time to be in jail. But she's still in jail, and she's writing letters from jail, which are remarkable. Whenever she can get a pen and something to write on, she's been sending those out. So look that up. Dr. Sandra Steingraber's letters from jail. They're pretty amazing, and it shows you what this kind of effort can have to be. So take a look at that, and also, you know, if you're moved by this and you're not involved, sign up at New Yorkers Against Fracking or Artists Against Fracking or the GASLAND the movie website. Just go there, put in your name and email, and you'll get alerts about when you have to email Governor Cuomo and call Governor Cuomo, and maybe one day stand next to a Sandra Steingraber and stop a truck if that's what it comes to, because we can't let New York get fracked. You're inspiring the world, and there are individuals here who are so brave and amazing. Just, if you sign up there, you'll get to know some of that process, because it's the little things and sometimes the big things that make us able to have a democracy. So, having said that, let's take some questions. I can't see anything. There's a big, very shiny light. Is that one in the, where is it? Is there a hand up? Can you put your hand up high?
Josh, over here.
Okay, there.
Thank you for such an awesome movie. I didn't see Gasland 1. Now I'm going to go see it. I'm concerned about the fracking. I live here in New York City. My concern is this could blow up the world. I mean, you look at what happens with drilling and in the local area, it's scary. Your plane flights looking across the United States, I'm frightened. I'm also scared about our government and how they're being manipulated, and we only had one guy in this movie showing alternative, and what can we do other than these sites, you know, what can we do to this guy from Stanford, you know, brilliant. I mean, you know, that just totally makes sense. What can we do?
If somebody here heard most of the question, what can we do to advance the plan that Mark Jacobson put out and he's showing in the film? Mark Jacobson, this remarkable energy and climate scientist, really is what he is, put forward this plan of the technological solution of how do you change out of fossil fuels. And he did it for the whole nation. And when the drilling moratorium expired, I got on the phone with Mark Ruffalo, the Incredible Hulk, the green superhero, who's been incredibly active in campaigning on fracking. And we were in a panic. The moratorium has expired, what do we do? And we actually flew, I interviewed Jacobson, and we flew there and we said, can you write us a plan just for New York State? And he got back to us in 2 days with the first draft.
Wow.
The guy's amazing. He spent 2 years revising it, and now if you look up the Solutions Project, there's starting to be some press. We're going to be developing this thing called the Solutions Project, which will advance that renewable energy agenda on many, many different levels. There's a policy level, there is a individual level, and then there's a group level. You know, we walk in and out of movies as individuals a lot, but to really make this work, you need to come to some kind of solutions project event and leave with 30 other people who are in your zip code, who you're going to have dinner with once a week, or once every 2 weeks, and you're going to have an agenda for the next 6 to 8 months, because there's a lot of stuff that we have to do advocating at the federal level and the state level to get these politicians to please pay attention. But there's a lot of stuff that we have to do to reform our habits a little bit and figure out all the best ways to move forward. Because if they're not going to do it, listen, I've been looking at this stuff from the climate change perspective. It's terrifying and devastating. And from being here and making a short film on Occupy Sandy, which you can look up online, you can see the devastation that happened in the Rockaways. There are still homes without power in New York State. This is all connected. And you know, you expect to hear more from us on that, but sign up at GASLAND the movie. We will continue to show that and bring that out as the film goes on. So, and Jess, do you have anything to add about renewable energy at the lobbying level?
I mean, I think a lot of what you need to do is just let your elected officials know that cut the tax breaks that oil companies have, and really we need to invest in renewable energy. And I really am I'm more positive about this now than I was just a year ago. All the people really are making a difference. Congressmen are starting to hear this. The conversation has changed on Capitol Hill over the past year, and I think it's just going to keep changing. For the first time, a anti-gas drilling member of Congress beat a pro-fracking member of Congress in the 2012 election. So keep it up, keep doing it.
Let's have a question for Mayor Tillman. Who's got a question for Mayor Calvin Tillman? Since he's here and he's absolutely incredible.
How are the people of Dish doing?
Wait,
now?
you asked the question already.
Oh, no one
Right
else
here.
is.
I know, we could be here all day, but.
I was just curious, everyone else seemed to be silenced and said nothing, all the people who have been, you know, willing to settle, but you spoke. Did they offer you a settlement? Or, I mean, I thought it was very brave of you, of course, of everyone who's been involved in this whole thing, to speak.
Well, and she asked about how I was able to speak out when a lot of other people have been silenced, and I never was silenced. I was very fortunate to be able to get out of that situation without having a gag order, and so I'm free to speak my mind and continue on. You know, there's a lot of people who struggled when they signed those non-disclosure agreements because it was like they're signing away their right to speak. And, you know, that's a tough situation to be in when your kids are having health effects and you need to get out and you can't sell your place. You're in a position where you can't take that loss, so your choices are either, you know, to settle or drop the keys and walk away. And so there's a lot of people that have had to make that choice. So I don't criticize people who did sign away their right to speak, because they were put in a very tough position. And on the previous question, if I could, the last thing, my last official act as mayor of Dish, Texas, was to install solar panels on the municipal building. All of our developers in Dish, Texas put in energy efficient homes, and they do that on their own. I asked them to do that, and they did that. Now Dish has 200 people and a budget of $70,000 a year. How on earth can a city like Dish, Texas provide half of the municipal power with solar and New York City can't? Why is that? It's because somebody's got to take the ball and run with it.
So apparently, we're out of time.
Kidding?
But apparently, they're letting me do an impromptu banjo thing in the lobby. So we're just going to do that.
Yeah.
I want to thank Mayor Tillman, who's been here all week, who's headed back home to Texas tonight. So you are such a great friend of mine. You're such a hero for Texas and for all of us around the country. Thank you so much.